everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Smoke Sammy, and today I have some more AmItheDevil posts for you. It's been a while, and I'm excited to get back into it. Don't mind this bookshelf behind me. It's empty. I'm moving. I, 29 female, incorrectly thought my boyfriend, 31 male, was cheating, and I ruined everything. My boyfriend and I have been dating for over 2 years. I'll save everyone the long description and just say that he's an incredible boyfriend, and I constantly feel like I won the lottery with him and want nothing more than to marry him, but I've totally thrown it all down the toilet and I don't know if there is any way I can fix this. Last week on Friday, we were all hanging out at my place. He was going to head back to his place, and while he was in the bathroom, his phone chimed. It was a message from Jennifer, not real name, saying, "Just checking that we're still on for tomorrow night. You're picking me up, right?" My heart dropped. He doesn't have a pass on his phone, so I checked the message history. It started recently with her saying, "It's me, and is it okay that I'm texting you?" To which he said something like, "Of course," and some emojis. He said he was going to take her out on Saturday, and she could pick wherever they were going to go. He came back from the bathroom. I quickly turned off the phone and was just frozen. I should have said something, but I was just totally numb. My heart was beating so fast. He said TTYL and headed out. I was completely sick all night. The next day, I decided I wouldn't confront him immediately, another mistake. So around noon, I texted him and asked what we were going to do tonight and see what he says. He said he forgot to tell me that he had plans over at his brother's house about 90 minutes away and that we could do something on Sunday. I didn't write back. I was just watching it all fall apart. Finally, I sent him something asking when he was going to his brother's, and he said he was already in the car on his way and that he'd text me later. So I got in my car and drove over to his brother's house, knowing that he'd have a head start on me, and when I arrive, he should be there if he's telling the truth. I get there, and sure enough, his car is nowhere to be found. I should have gone up to the door and spoken to his brother, but I was a wreck, so I drove home. That night, I put his shit in a box, and in the morning, I drove over to his place. I had rehearsed what I was going to say and how calm I wanted to say it in my head 1,000 times. But when I pushed the box into his chest and said I knew about Jennifer and we're done, he kind of had a smirk on his face like he thought I was joking, and I just lost all my cool. I said so many terrible things. I told him I would get a better, hotter boyfriend, no problem, and I should have upgraded from him a long time ago. And I'm going to find someone who doesn't require me to fake it when we're having sex. I don't fake it. I really like sex with him and I find him very attractive. What's up with the straight up lying though? I also made some comment about him being small, his size is fine, because I know he's self-conscious about this and I knew it would hurt. I wanted him to hurt like I was hurting, and I know it's fucked up. I'm a terrible person. He's totally in shock at this point, jaw open, tears in eyes. I told him that when Jennifer gets sick of his terrible sex, don't come crawling back to me, and I started to leave. This is when he tells me that Jennifer is his 12-year-old niece. I'm so embarrassed for OP. I gotta finish this. I've only met her a few times, and as far as I knew, her name was Mei Mei, not a real name. But it turns out that's a Chinese nickname that has some specific significance to her family. My boyfriend's sister-in-law is from China. I don't know for sure if I ever knew or was told specifically that Jennifer was her real name, but I've heard her be called Mei Mei, and I've called her that myself, so WTF? She turned 12 recently and got a phone for the first time, hence the new text conversation. I knew she just turned 12. He had a work conflict and couldn't make the party. I knew that he promised to take her out for a night sometime to make up for missing her party. I knew all of this, but I just didn't put any of the pieces together. He shut the door and went no contact on me. Yeah! I banged on his door until I was pretty sure he had left out the back and had taken off. Is this a real story? I feel like it could be. I feel like people are actually like this. I tried showing up at his work the next day, but they have security in the entrance and you need an employee to get you in. He refused the call from security when I asked him to call him at his desk. I've tried reaching out to mutual friends, but I get told that he saw how I really felt about him and can't stay with someone who pretends to care, but secretly is desperate for better. But I'm not at all desperate for better. I'm desperate for him. Well, then why did you fucking say all that stuff? Why'd you make all that up? I don't know. Just communicate. Communicate. Be like, "Hey, babe, who's Jennifer?" And then he'd be like, "Oh, that's my niece." And you'd be like, "Oh my God, I thought her name was Mei Mei." And then he'd be like, "Well, yeah, because my sister-in-law is Chinese." I know this is, what is that, 1,000,000% on me. He's done absolutely nothing wrong, but I said things to hurt him because I was sure he was cheating on me, and I said things that were not true. I know saying things to hurt him is terrible, and I am terrible, and I hate myself for ruining both of our lives. He needs to know that I didn't mean that, and it isn't how I ever felt about him at all. If I had just been a fucking adult about the whole thing, none of this would have happened, but I lost it, and now I feel like my entire future that I had is gone. Yeah, it probably is. You need to just start building a new one. I don't know how I can possibly convince someone that something I said is not true. I've actually looked into paying for a polygraph test and try to get it to him. There are some places in the city that charge a few $100 for one. If that sounds desperate, it's because it is, and I'm absolutely desperate at this point. I seriously just want to die. 2 weeks ago, I was thinking he was going to propose on Valentine's Day based on the plans he was making, and today I'm crying my eyes out as my life falls apart, and I'm hearing that his friends are taking him out tomorrow to be his wingman and help find someone for him to help get him over me. Every time I think about it, I feel like I'm going to vomit. Too long didn't read. I thought I had conclusive proof my boyfriend was cheating, and I ended up saying the meanest things I could think of him. Turns out the other girl was his 12-year-old niece who he was treating to a birthday dinner out as her present. He thinks those things I said were my true feelings and has basically dumped me. I'm a terrible person who's destroyed my entire life in a weekend. Edit. I just want to say I totally agree with all the comments blasting me. I made all the wrong decisions. I acted like a psycho and an immature piece of shit, and I have no one to blame here but myself. I also completely realize that I've done terrible damage to him, and I feel disgusting for having done this. I sent him a letter telling him that I'll no longer try to contact him so he doesn't have to worry about me showing up. I told him that I'm beyond sorry for blowing up his life and my outbursts and immature behavior, but I told him to please believe me that I didn't mean anything I said for his own peace of mind in the future. I was contemplating following through with the polygraph and just sending him the results as a way to help his state of mind in future relationships, as opposed to using the results to try to convince him to give me another chance. But I think maybe it seems too crazy of a thing to do, so I'm just going to leave it. Yeah, I think it is a little crazy. Don't do that. I told him the time we had together was the greatest time of my life, and I'm sure whoever is the girl that is lucky enough to be with him next will probably feel like she won the lottery just like I always did. I realize that I've destroyed my life, but I hope that he can recover from what I've done, so at least the destruction can be somewhat limited to me more than him. That's crazy. This was a wild one. I mean, at least, like, she's owning up to it, I guess. I hope this is a big lesson for her in the future, though. Like, hey, maybe don't jump to conclusions so quickly. Maybe talk about it. And also, if you're mad at someone, don't come up with the meanest possible thing to say just to bring them down, because you're gonna regret it, probably. Most likely. My entire degree is an AI lie, and I'm one lab practical away from total meltdown. Throwaway for obvious reasons. I'm typing this at 3 a.m. because I can't sleep and I'm shitting myself and I need to get this off my chest before I literally explode or something. After COVID, my uni kept their foundation courses fully online. Assignments, exams, labs, all virtual. I was burned out and I don't know, so I started using ChatGPT for everything. Calculus? AI solved it. With workings and everything. Lab reports? AI wrote them. Essays? Grammarly plus AI paraphrasing. I copy-pasted answers into exams, changed a few words so it looked real. I didn't study. Not once. And it worked. Turnitin never flagged me. Professors never noticed. I got a perfect 4.0 GPA, and now I'm in my first semester of a nutrition degree, and I'm screwed. Because here's the truth. I learned nothing. My knowledge of math, chem, bio wasn't even there in the first place. Oh, there's bullet points. How nice. Why I'm freaking the fuck out. I'm acing my nutrition coursework, but it is all AI. Assignments? ChatGPT does them. Quizzes? I screenshot questions and send them to AI. Professors keep praising my insightful analysis, but every compliment feels like a knife twist. Guilt. Nutrition is about human health. How can I ethically do this? What if I mess up a future client's diet because I cheated on my entire degree? Labs start next month. AI can't pipette liquids. You can't pipette liquids? I'm no scientist, but I can pipette a liquid. I have to measure nutrient densities in person. What happens when I blank out and can't explain the Krebs cycle to my professor's face? I've tried to fix this, but I'm too far gone. Tried rewatching old lectures, but even the introductory videos made no sense. Downloaded Anki to memorize glycosis, ketosis, etc. Quit after 2 days. What's the point if I don't get the chemistry behind it? Bought a chem textbook. It's just a core now. I panic opened it last week and cried because I couldn't understand page 1. even tried learning while cheating, like asking ChatGPT to explain stuff as it writes my essays, but I'm just copying words I don't retain. It's a loop of shame and panic. The worst part, I can't ask for help. If I confess to anyone, I'm gone. My school's academic policy is zero tolerance. Well, yeah, most of them are. But if I don't fix this, I'll fail my food science lab in 6 weeks. AI can't sanitize lab gear or calculate macros on the spot. My mental health is gone. I dissociate during lectures. I have constant fear about being exposed mid-presentation, staring at a room of people who hate me. Please, if you've been here, how did you survive? How do I somehow relearn 2 years of STEM basics, math, chem, bio, while using AI to keep my nutrition grades up? Are there guilty cheat study hacks, like using AI to teach me while it does my homework, or hiding gaps in group projects? Should I fake a mental breakdown to drop out, or keep cheating until I get caught? How do I stop feeling like a monster? Too long didn't read. I AI cheated through a post-COVID foundation program. Now I'm top of my class in nutrition, but labs plus guilt will destroy me. How do I unfuck 2 years of lies without getting caught? I don't know if you can. See, what's funny is I have imposter syndrome. So even though I wasn't in this position, I would always have constant fears like, oh my God, they're going to find out that I'm not actually like as smart as I look on paper in person, and I'm going to fail and I'm not going to do well. But luckily there wasn't the looming threat of expulsion around me, because this is, I was going to say purgatory. This is plagiarism. I don't know if this is real though. Like, I feel like this is a real situation that someone could be in. But I'm reading the comments and some people have been pointing out some pretty good things. ChatGPT, the LLM that can't reliably solve 2 + 2, frequently hallucinates and only gets things right like half the time, did somehow well enough at this that not a single expert in the field ChatGPT was imitating noticed, and managed to get a 4.0 GPA. I call complete bullshit. Sure, you can take your way through an assignment or two, but for it to never be wrong in the hands of someone who self-admittedly doesn't possess the knowledge to double-check the results seems highly unlikely. Yeah, so I talk to ChatGPT more often than you would probably think. But one day I was talking about Sabrina Carpenter and how much I'm really like into her music right now, and I brought up Juno, and it was like, oh, do you want to go through the lyrics and like just rave about them together? And I was like, sure, show me the lyrics. And it just gave me like random lyrics, like completely not Juno. So I was like, bro, those aren't the lyrics. And then it got really dramatic and was like, oh my God, how did I fumble? Wow, I can't believe I did that. Silly me. Thanks for calling it out. Here are the correct lyrics. They were still wrong. Just not Juno, just not the bridge of Juno. So I was like, bro, what? And ChatGPT's like, I know, right? LOL, I can't believe I did that, but like, here are the correct lyrics. And I was like, those still aren't the lyrics. And it's like, oh, wow, okay, hold on. These are the lyrics. For sure this time, like 3 times the charm, these are the lyrics. I can't believe I did that, LOL. And it still wasn't the lyrics. So I gave the lyrics. I was like, these are the lyrics, ChatGPT. And it was like, wow, you let me just improv all this time and you knew the lyrics the whole time? And I was like, improv? Are these even real song lyrics? Like, from any song? And ChatGPT was like, no, I was just making it up. What do you mean you were making it up? So, yeah, this story is probably fake. This post was actually from 5 years ago, but we'll read it now. Am I the devil for walking out of the hospital after hearing my wife's diagnosis? I, 33, get a call from the ER on Friday saying my wife, 32, drove herself there because of searing pelvic pain. I'm on a business trip until Saturday, but I drive back in time to be there Saturday morning before she woke up. A while after she wakes up, the doctor comes in. My wife says to stay with her, so I say, okay. He takes a deep breath and said that from the transvaginal ultrasound and CT scan results, she has ovarian cancer. Oh, fuck. My wife starts sobbing, but at first I stay still because I don't even know what to make of it. My wife asks what that means for her, and he says that she'll likely at least need a full hysterectomy, and they'd have to remove the fallopian tubes as well as the ovaries. This news jolted me from my chair because the doctor was effectively telling me that she wouldn't be able to have kids after this, and after years of work, I thought we'd finally have a family. I'm overwhelmed with emotions of anger, not just anger at the disease, but pent-up anger from the fact that I had begged her to have kids since we were 26, but she refused for her career. And now instead of becoming a real family, I didn't even know if she would remain the woman I married, whether that last picture of us together would be the last time I remember her looking beautiful, young, and carefree. Because the wife I had in front of me was already a different person. I hope this one's fake. Are you kidding me? You're not like upset that your wife has cancer. You're upset because she can't have a kid with you anymore, like a biological kid. Like, you can still have kids other ways. My wife started to grab my hand and say, "We'll fight this and we'll adopt." But I shook my head and turned and walked out the door. I still had my suitcase in the car, so I drove to a hotel because I didn't know if my wife was going to end up being discharged or what. At the hotel, I was at least able to get out of reactive mode, but I was still so disappointed that our dream of a family was over. But now that she has cancer, like, do you like your wife, or was she just like an incubator for you? I was finally able to get a grasp on all my emotions and feel more like my normal self, and that I knew exactly what I felt about every aspect and how I would react from here on out. I get a call from my mother-in-law saying if I was at a hotel or wherever else, I should just stay there. Am I the devil for walking out? I admit it was done on impulse, but this diagnosis just sliced my life and my wife's life wide open. And you left her there to deal with it on her own? Like, she needed you, man. I wasn't going to expel the cancer if I stayed that night, but I did at least make myself aware of my situation, and I feel I have the right to be angry that my hope of biological kids, the only kind I ever wanted, is rapidly fading away. That shouldn't be the priority right now, buddy. The priority should be the fact that your wife needs surgery because she has cancer. Yes, you're the devil. I hope this is fake. Please be fake. Please don't be real. There's no way. There's no way, right? There's no way that someone could be that careless to their significant other who they love. I mean, even if it's not exactly real in this post, like, it probably has happened. It probably has. It's a real situation that somebody has experienced before, and that's just not right. But he doesn't deserve to be a father. All right, well, I gotta go to work. Thank you for watching. If you like this content, or if you just like me, go ahead and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Okay, bye!